You're watching MRTV, where forgotten history speaks again. This little piece of clay is packed full of information from 4,200 years ago. The language of the inscription is Sumerian, and Sumerian tablets are probably one of the oldest forms of written record that we have. There's footage they never wanted you to see. Samuel Noah Kramer, 91 years old, weeks from death. The man who single-handedly taught the modern world everything it knows about humanity's first civilization. He's sitting in a Philadelphia basement that smells like clay dust and dying secrets, hands trembling over tablets older than the Bible, about to say something on camera that will make his colleagues wish he'd stayed silent. Before I die, please listen. We have gotten this wrong, not the details, the whole framework. For 50 years, this man was the authority on ancient Sumer. His word was final, his translations were gospel, and in his final days he admitted all of it might be wrong. The academic establishment buried these interviews, but the transcripts survived. This is what they didn't want you to hear. For decades, every textbook, every museum exhibit, every documentary, every college lecture about where civilization began traced back to one man in the basement of the University of Pennsylvania Museum, surrounded by clay tablets no one else could read. He deciphered thousands of them, teaching himself a dead language with no manuals or native speakers, building meaning word by word over 6 decades. His book History Begins at Sumer introduced the world to the first love song, first legal code, the first schools, yet buried in his footnotes were growing doubts, astronomical symbols, obscure concepts, meanings that resisted translation. By the 1980s, he admitted the more he studied the texts, the less certain he became of their true meaning. Realizing the Sumerian language had no clear concept of religion, no separation between natural and supernatural, no idea of miracles because their reality had no baseline those miracles could violate. What we translate as God may have meant power or consciousness. What we call creation may have meant something entirely different. The crisis came from a single tablet from Nippur that he had translated decades earlier. One he revisited at age 91, realizing the words he had rendered as gift, human, and God could instead mean awakening, the unaware one, and the fully conscious power. The tablet was not saying gods gave civilization to primitive humans, but that civilization emerged when humans awakened to capacities they already possessed. This reinterpretation threatened to invalidate entire careers, yet Kramer could not unsee it. He began to realize he had imposed modern categories onto ancient thought, missing a fundamentally different mode of consciousness. He pointed to Sumerian mathematics, their base 60 system, their precise astronomy, their sudden technological sophistication, suggesting these were not gradual discoveries but expressions of a different way of perceiving reality. Even Sumer's collapse, he believed, was not political but cognitive, a fading of whatever consciousness once made that civilization possible. In his final interview, he said, "We are their descendants, trying to read their texts from the wrong side of a divide." When Kramer died in 1990, his obituary celebrated his achievements but ignored his doubts, and academia moved on, preserving the old framework. Yet a few researchers have begun revisiting these texts, finding myths turning into descriptions of consciousness and king lists into records of cognitive states. If Kramer was right, then progress may not be a straight line. We may have gained technology while losing something deeper. The tablets are still there, the words readable, but the meanings slipping through our modern minds. Before I die, please listen, he said. We have gotten this wrong, not the details, the whole framework. So here's the question. Have we lost something our ancestors had? Or was Kramer simply wrong? Drop your theory in the comments. And for more forbidden history the academic establishment doesn't want you to see, subscribe to MRTV.